I've spent over 30 years treating heart emergencies in the ER. And what I'm about to tell you could save your life. Every single week, I see patients over 60 who never felt the classic movie-style heart attack, the crushing chest pain that drops you to the floor. Instead, their hearts sent quieter warning signals so subtle they brushed them off until it was too late. Here's the truth. Half of first-time heart attacks are silent. They don't hurt the way you expect. They whisper instead of scream. And if you miss those whispers, you might never get a second chance. That's why today I'm going to walk you through the 3 hidden signs of a silent heart attack every senior must recognize. These aren't theories, they're backed by cardiology research and decades of ER experience. And when we get to trick number 1, you'll understand why so many lives are lost, simply because people mistake this sign for something harmless. So stay with me, because knowing these 3 signs could literally keep you alive. Before we dive in, I want to know something. How old are you, and have you or someone you love ever felt unexplained fatigue, nausea, or dizziness that just didn't seem right? Tell me in the comments. I personally read each one like I would listen to a patient in my clinic. Your story might help someone else notice these warning signs in time. Let's start with the first on our list, number 3. The sign most seniors ignore because it doesn't feel like the heart at all. Number 3, unexplained fatigue or sudden weakness is greater than. For many people over 60, the earliest signal of a heart attack isn't pain, it's exhaustion. I've seen countless patients come into the ER saying, "Doctor, I was just so tired lately, I thought I was getting old." But that sudden, crushing fatigue, the kind that hits even after a good night's sleep, can be your heart quietly calling for help. Here's what happens. When one of your coronary arteries starts to narrow, your heart muscle doesn't get enough oxygen. Your body compensates by redirecting energy to keep vital organs alive, and you feel it as overwhelming weakness. You might notice simple tasks like climbing stairs or carrying groceries suddenly drain you. You may even feel short of breath or lightheaded afterward. Many seniors brush this off as aging or stress. Research from the American Heart Association shows that fatigue and breathlessness are among the top early indicators of a silent heart attack in adults over 60. In fact, women experience this sign twice as often as men. Let me share one quick story. A 72-year-old woman came into my ER last spring. She'd been feeling off for 2 weeks, no pain, just extreme tiredness and a little nausea. She thought it was the flu. When her son finally convinced her to come in, we found she'd had a small heart attack 3 days earlier. Her heart muscle was damaged, but she survived. I'll never forget what she said before discharge. "I wish I'd listened to my body sooner." If you ever experience sudden fatigue that's out of proportion to your activity, don't dismiss it. Call your doctor or emergency services right away. It could be your heart asking for help before the real attack hits. Coming up next, number 2, a sign that hides in plain sight, often mistaken for indigestion or anxiety, but it's actually one of the most dangerous red flags your body can send. Number 2, pressure, tightness or discomfort that isn't painful. When most people picture a heart attack, they imagine someone clutching their chest in agony. But in reality, especially for those over 60, the warning often feels mild. Many of my patients describe it as pressure, tightness, or a strange squeezing, not sharp pain. Some say it feels like something's sitting on their chest or like they can't take a deep breath. Here's the danger. Because it's not intense, people assume it's heartburn, muscle tension, or even anxiety. I've heard it too many times, I thought it was gas. But in cardiology, we have a saying, mild pain can hide major damage. What's happening inside your body is this. The arteries that feed your heart are partially blocked. Blood struggles to get through, starving your heart muscle of oxygen. That dull squeezing sensation is your heart muscle suffocating. And this silent pressure doesn't always stay in the chest. It can spread to your shoulders, back, jaw, even your teeth or throat. I've had patients come in with nothing more than a sore neck or aching jaw, and their EKG showed a full-blown heart attack. One of my most unforgettable cases was a 8-year-old retired teacher. She'd been treating what she thought was acid reflux for days. She tried antacids, even herbal tea, but that burning in her chest was actually restricted blood flow. When she finally arrived at the ER, her artery was 90% blocked. She looked at me and said, "Doctor, it didn't even hurt. I just felt off." If you ever feel chest pressure that lasts more than a few minutes, or it comes and goes, don't wait it out. Call emergency services immediately. It's far better to find out it's indigestion than to discover it was your heart too late. Time lost is muscle lost, and every minute matters. Number 1, shortness of breath and cold sweats without obvious cause. The number 1 silent sign of a heart attack that seniors ignore is sudden shortness of breath, especially when it comes out of nowhere. You could be sitting, walking to the kitchen, or just getting ready for bed, and suddenly you can't catch your breath. Maybe you start sweating, even though the room isn't hot. That combination, breathlessness and cold, clammy skin, is a red alert from your heart. Here's why. Your heart's job is to pump oxygen-rich blood throughout your body. When one of its arteries becomes blocked, oxygen levels drop fast. Your lungs try to compensate, forcing you to breathe harder, even though the real issue isn't in your lungs, it's in your heart. That's why some people say, "It felt like I was suffocating." In my years in the ER, I've seen patients arrive drenched in sweat, gasping, but denying pain. They'll tell me, "Doctor, I just can't breathe right." Their EKG says otherwise. Heart attack in progress. One gentleman, 70 years old, had this exact experience. He was fixing breakfast when he suddenly broke into a sweat and felt like he'd run a marathon. He thought it was just the summer heat. His wife insisted they call 911. That decision saved his life. When we opened his artery in the cath lab, his heart had already begun to fail. So, if you ever find yourself breathing heavily for no reason, your shirt sticking to you with sweat, your pulse racing, don't assume it's stress, heat, or anxiety. Sit down, stay still, and call for help immediately. These are the 3 silent heart attack signs I want every person over 60 to recognize. Number 3, unexplained fatigue or sudden weakness. Number 2, persistent pressure or tightness that feels mild but strange. Number 1, sudden shortness of breath and cold sweating without reason. None of these should ever be ignored, not even for an hour. I've lost count of how many patients told me I thought it would go away. By the time they arrived, the damage was done. Don't let that be your story. The moment you notice these signs, act like your life depends on it, because it does. Call emergency services, chew an aspirin if your doctor allows, and stay calm until help arrives. Remember, your heart rarely gives a second warning. Now, I want to hear from you. Where are you watching from? Have you or someone you know ever experienced one of these silent symptoms? Tell me in the comments below. I personally read each one just like I would listen to a patient in my office. And if this information helped you, don't forget to like this video, share it with your loved ones, and subscribe for more life-saving advice. Stay safe, stay aware, and remember, knowledge is power, especially after 60.